How's it going, everybody? In this episode, we're going to be tearing down the interior of the Humvee and getting it ready for paint. So we're going to start by removing the top off the Humvee. It comes off pretty easily. There's just a couple little clips around the edges, and then in the front near the windshield, there's a little track that it actually slides out of. Right here, I actually have a little bit of trouble getting the top out of the track. This is pretty common because it sits there for a while and gets stuck. Basically, to take it off easily, spray a little bit of soapy water in there and it should slide right out. The next thing I'm doing is I'm taking off the back seat belt so I could remove the rear curtain. I'm also giving away the rear curtain too, along with the top. If anybody wants this top or is interested in it and is nearby, you are more than welcome to come and pick it up. I have no use for it. It's not really that damaged or anything. It just has some sun damage on it, and I'm sure you could probably repaint it or whatever you want. So let me know down in the comments if you're interested. A couple of my little buddies decided to show up and see what I was up to. For anyone that doesn't know what these are sandhill cranes, and they are all over here in Florida. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm moving on to taking off this little air filter gauge. It basically tells you when the air filter needs to be replaced. I believe it sucks like almost like a vacuum on there when there's too much resistance in the air filter, and it'll move a little gauge down and just let you know it's clogged or something. Next thing is we're moving the parking brake signal light and the wait light. I got the parking brake light out fine, but the wait light is kind of stuck in there, so I'm going to have to try to figure out how to get that out before I start painting it. Then after that, we're going to remove the start switch. I decided to leave this connected underneath the dash so I could still start it and move it around. So now we are removing the light selector switch. Something kind of cool about the light selector switch and the actual turn signal switch is they have these really cool spin-on like watertight connectors for the electrical wires, and it makes taking them off and putting them back on really easy. Alright, now moving on to the actual gauge cluster. I decided to take all the gauges out, and I'm either going to replace them or somehow refurbish them because some of them look pretty bad. Another pet peeve of mine is when people paint these and they leave all the gauges on and they just tape them up or something like that or cover them. you know, it looks really bad, and I see it happen quite a bit. So it doesn't take that long to take them out. So I don't know why all the people decide to just cover them up and spray over it. Alright, so here's one of the gauges for the Humvee. And when you turn the dash lights on, the gauges get the light from these little windows on the side. There's these little plastic windows. And this whole instrument panel has two lights, one right here and one right here. And they kind of shine in the back of this, and all the gauges get their light from those two little lights. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna wrap an LED strip around here, just like a strip of LEDs around every single gauge, and then put a little controller so you could switch, you know, switch the colors on the gauges too. You could change it from, you know, blue, green, white, red, all those different colors. And I'm pretty sure I could find those LEDs pretty cheap, so it'd be a cool little experiment. Might light these up a lot better, or definitely will light them up a lot better, because at night these are really hard to see. And actually on my Humvee, I wired in two LEDs just to these normal the light locations right here and right here, and they made a huge difference. So if you know, if that made a difference, then I'm sure a whole string of LEDs will make an even bigger difference, look a lot better. So now I thought this was going to be a big pain in the ass, but it wasn't too bad. Basically, to take off these knobs, you have to remove them completely. So I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it actually was, but it wasn't bad at all. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up right here. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed. So I didn't get too creative in this one. I kind of just threw together a bunch of clips of me working on it the past 2 days. It's been raining every day here, so I'm kind of short for time, so I couldn't really get too creative with anything. But yeah, guys, hope you all enjoyed. Hope it wasn't too boring, and stay tuned for the next one. Over and out.